Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm with my friend Gita, a fellow Climate Breakthrough Awardee, and we're going to talk about climate action today. So we have some questions for each
Yay! Hi, everyone.
Gita, how did you first get interested into organizing on climate campaigns?
I think the essence for me has always been this obsession. We have this phrase in Indonesia called gotong royong, which literally translates into collective action.
Love it.
And our founding father actually instilled that principle as part of our true identity as a nation. But if you Google the term right now, gotong royong, what you'll find is literally people building dam or like cleaning the street, but it's very like physical activities oriented. So I feel it's kind of degraded the meaning a bit. So I want to prove the point that it can actually translate into something that is game-changing for the country. So I started kind of dabbling with that concept and finding out that a lot of the research on collective action and a lot of the implementation on collective action happens outside of Indonesia. So I'm like, what is wrong? We need to start doing more things like that. And I truly believe that climate I think everybody's problem can only be solved if it is relatable for everyone.
That's right.
And I think the only chance that we have is to organize it collectively and making sure that everybody understand that climate problem is not this like exclusive problem to some, but is actually core to our daily living, and do something about it, but together.
That's right. It's not some data problem to solve. It's like this heart of protecting everything that we love.
Yeah, I always say like, I have this problem about this saying of saving the earth. I don't think we're saving the earth. The earth is fine. Without human, the earth is thriving, I bet. It's saving ourselves.
That's right.
It's preventing us from getting extinct. And I think doing it collectively is the only way to go.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So I think I want to know what is surprising, because you've been working with communities a lot as well, right? And diverse communities, to say the least. What is surprising once you start working with them, learning from them, anything that is becoming an aha moment for you?
I think what's surprising most is stereotypes really start to melt away when you're all working collectively to solve a problem. So, you know, in America, it's known that farmers and ranchers are more conservative, more Republicans, and you wouldn't think that they would be the front line or part of the front line activists on climate campaigns. But they are, because they know their very livelihoods are tied to healthy soil, clean water, clean air. And so when you start to really work with communities and work with individuals, you start to hear their stories and their, you know, deep reasons on why they want to protect the land and water. You know, for some folks, they've been on this land for over 100 years. Obviously, our Native American brothers and sisters much longer than that. And that's really what roots them in deciding that they're going to now take action. And so I think for me, it's been most surprising that folks in the city sometimes don't realize that it's the rural people that are deeply connected to the land and water that are going to be the climate champions.
They're the one who knows how to take care of it best most of the time too. Yay. I love that. If you weren't doing environmental work, what do you think you would be doing? Like anything that's like left from childhood dreams or like childhood memory that you want to be doing instead?
So I was a religious studies major in undergraduate work. And my religious studies professor, her name was Dr. Candy Queen Sutherland. I loved her. She taught me so many things. I know. She taught me about goddesses. She was amazing. She told me I was either going to be a politician or lead a church. So, you know, she was like, your personality is just too much. You're going to be leading a congregation or leading a country. So I just think, you know, I've always, even as a little kid, like, when we would go play hide and go seek, I would even organize that. I had a little index card thing where I had names. I had all the neighborhood kids' names, and I gave them team names, like you're a butterfly, you know.
Oh, nice.
And so I've always been an organizer. What makes me happy is being with people.
So, well, you're doing what you're...
I'm doing what I was meant to be, I think.
Anything else we want to discuss?
I think, you know, I would just say this, the other thing that I think that I might be that other than a politician or running a church, is I really do down the road want to write a cookbook for people with eating disorders.
Oh.
And that sounds so weird because food is obviously difficult for people with eating disorders, but they really need a guide on how to be healthy again and how to be connected back with the earth. So anyway.
I think it resonates a lot. I don't I'm not really good at cooking, but I think one of the thing that I would love to do is like we have this cooking book from the old days. I think it was before colonialism as well in Indonesia, and the book is called Mustika Rasa. And it basically describes the different cuisine across Indonesia, but not only the cuisine and how to cook it. It talks about how would you find the plants to actually make the cuisine. How do you take care of the soil so that the plant tastes a certain way? And it's been, one of the staple cookbook for a while. And I think one of the problem that we're facing right now in Indonesia is people are forgetting their roots because our food system is completely changed into something that is like mass produced. And reviving that cookbook, I think, would be fun because you'll get to actually go back to the roots and think about what type of carbs are people eating in different region, what type of spices, what type of vegetables, what type of way of cooking of different like protein we're using in the indigenous community, in the local community, but also revive it in a way so that like entrepreneurs can start making new products from it that's resonate to the market, or they can start a new restaurant and actually build upon it. So I think maybe, maybe that is a project
Food,
that we should do.
Stories, and climate are all connected.
It's all healthy soil, healthy water, healthy air, and healthy gut.
Exactly. As we both know, climate action is hard. It's really difficult. There's like a roller coaster ride sometimes. What's something you love about your work and that you wish people knew more about?
I think the opportunity to find people, diverse people, and I think the opportunity to practice listening, not only with your ear, but with your heart, is center to the work that we do. And most of climate action as well, that's rooted to the community. I think we go off and think that we'll find the greatest science or like innovation and then implement that in the grassroots level. While at the same time, we have proven ourselves wrong most of the time. And the practice of listening is such a core component, I think, because all of the answers are mostly in the community. And it's just, how do we respect that enough so that we can learn from the past, learn from the tradition, learn from the culture, but put it as part of a solution that's exciting for the current problem and the future problem. Make it exciting for the younger generation, for the Gen Z to actually be part of that, and thinking that learning about history is a center part of understanding what you can do and contribute to climate action. And it's not as if, people have to change their way of living or change profession. You can literally do any profession that you are currently doing right now, but learning the principle of living, learning the culture, and learning how urgent it is to take action by listening more and then implement it. You can be a content creator, like a cook. You can also be a politician. You can be somebody that's running a hospital. Everything is connected, and I think climate action is wider than what people consider it to be right now. It should and can be mainstream, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what you said about listening is so true. Sometimes I think we're always looking for this perfect poll-tested message, or, we're doing focus groups. And I always say, all you have to do is go to a community meeting and listen to how folks are describing the problem and describing the solution. You don't need $1 million poll to tell you that.
True. But it is hard to practice listening.
It is. What excites you the most about being in the Climate Breakthrough Award program?
I think meeting people like you. Yay! No, because it's amazing, right? In the community itself, we were just talking just now how like our work is kind of similar, but we're in totally different part of the world, and how like rural community plays similar role in both of our country, and how amazing it is to connect like young entrepreneurs that stayed in a small town of the US with young entrepreneurs that stays in our district, and how we can actually make it happen, make them feel that they're connected to like a larger community, larger network, not even in the country, but globally.
That's right.
I think that's amazing to kind of connect the dots organically that way, just having like a quick conversation and let's just make that happen.
No, that's right.
So we can be quoted for this video.
I think, so many times rural communities are seen as the problem for climate and not part of the solution and not the source of ideas and innovation. And I think that's what you and I deeply believe in, that rural actually does have the ideas and solutions to solve.
And it's like we live how many hours apart, right?
Exactly, yes. If it's 11 p.m. there, it's 11 a.m. where I live. Yeah.
But apparently, the roots are the same.
The roots are the same.
That's what I love about Climate Breakthrough.
Yeah, I love meeting people from all over the world. Yes. And that we're all in this to solve problems because we deeply care about our communities.
Thank you for traveling all the way to Bali.
I love your
Happy
country.
to have you here in our country. Yay.
I love it.